refresh yourselves.
I interrupt the intro to give a sip. everyone! Hello, how are we? I hope we're all ready for another riveting day of rolling dice and doing random writing prompts. It is I, your host, Line. It is I, here with my sippy. We're gonna have a good day. I had quite the long day. I got into work later than I wanted to, which means I came home later than I wanted to. But now we're here. I had a good day, I had a good lunch. And now it's time for writing. But see, I'm a little miffed, you see. Because we remember maybe last stream when I was doing these prompts, we were rolling a d23 to, encompass all of the options we have for prompts. I will have you know that today, we're rolling a d34. These prompts are multiplying faster than I can actually keep up. And I'm not helping because I've added 3 of my own to this list. I'm a contributor now! So yes, I have contributed. Technically at the moment it's only 2, but because the third one hasn't made it onto the list yet, it has to still be added. But I have made 2 sets of prompts for clothing, and the one that is to be added soon is artwork. I think that last one was very fitting. I don't know, I just had this inspiration like, we don't have clothing prompts, I'm gonna make some clothing prompts. So if we just scroll on over, you see our clothes list by Strixline. That's me. Hello. So yes, I have come up with 2 separate lists for prompts for clothing, and they are as follows: versatile, textured, baggy, imported, patchwork, modern, regional, comforting, embroidered, year-round, juvenile, colorful, cheap, uniform, seasonal, mature, retro, whimsical, mundane, craft, dull, protective, uncomfortable, structured, utilitarian, sentimental, controversial, expensive, monochromatic, and elegant. And that is list number 1. And for list number 2, we have such prompts as efficient, unique, widespread, regal, dyed, layered, frivolous, trendy, heirloom, sacred, sheer, leisure, scruffy, patterned, cheerful, silky, activewear, warm, festive, formal, casual, intricate, cool, tedious, simple, spiritual, gaudy, somber, unusual, and essential. So I thought those were some good words for clothing. I tried to keep it as setting neutral as possible, so anybody can use these. And I think that's kind of the trend with all of these prompts. I haven't looked at every single list for every single everything. I tried not to... Hi, Shiffers! Heirloom clothing sounds interesting. Is it clothing that's passed down, or is there something within the clothes that passes from generation to generation? Who knows? That is for you to decide if and when you choose to do one of these prompts. And indeed, we could go have a look at perhaps my prompt list that is yet to be added to the list, but does exist. For artwork. That is the next set of prompts. How many sippies completes the drink? You know, I actually have no idea. Because this is my mug today. It's a little... I don't know, I have so many different sized mugs. It's never really 4 to 10 sippies. You know, I think 10 might be maybe cutting it close. I don't know, sometimes I'll double sip on a sippy, and that takes more of the drink from the mug. But yes, so I've submitted a prompt list for artwork as well. And that one is as follows. We have expressive, infamous, nostalgic, treasured, collection, lost, cursed, classical, surreal, collaboration, innovative, hidden, contemporary, restored, beloved, ceramic, controversial, enigmatic, abstract, popular, historical, counterfeit, studied, reviled, humorous, irreplaceable, unknown, religious, enchanting, and tactile. So I think I did pretty good with that one. As the resident artist, I felt it almost necessary for me to include such a prompt list if I'm going to be submitting any at all. So yes, we're gonna see how many of these we can get through today. We're gonna be keeping kind of like a similar theme to last time. We're just going to be doing very short and sweet, generating ideas for my world, and not so much full writing. We're gonna roll these dice, we're gonna see what we get. And yes, let us get into it. I do have my little let me pull this up here. I have the whole list here with the numbers attached to them so that I don't have to like sight read count every single time I roll something. So let's see. We're going to roll our little D34. We've gotten 23. Let's see. I feel like we've already done, well no, because the numbers are different this time. I've changed the way, the direction that we're counting is the numbers are different. We got 23, and that is bugs. It's bug time. So alright. Let's just go back. Go back here, we shall see. Is that under species? Yes, it is. Or at least it should be. I haven't actually scrolled to it. Yes, okay. And of course we have to roll our D30 to see what actually we get. 7. Camouflaged. So we're writing about a little buggy that is camouflaged. That sounds fun. Alright, so here we go. We are greeted with Janet's face. Lovely, wonderful. And of course we have this reminder here on the WorldAnvil homepage. Vote for your favorites in the World Building Awards 2022, for which I have indeed been nominated for 2 categories. 2 whole categories, can you believe that? It may or may not be restricted to the WorldAnvil community existing members, but it actually doesn't ask for any usernames, it only asks for your email, so you could just vote regardless, I think. And maybe if it's only limited to community members, they'll just toss out your vote if your email doesn't match up or something. I don't know. But if you love me and you love my work, maybe consider tossing me a little vote or 2. 2 is preferable because I'm in 2 nominations. But anyway, enough about me. We have to write about a bug. So here we go. Pull up the little species thing. So we got a bug. What kind of bug are we thinking about today? The first bug to come to mind is a stick bug. We've been stick bugged. But I don't know. Because I'm also, in my brain, I'm thinking about moths. Moths are cool. I'm a big fan of those. So it really is just kind of a toss-up of what we might actually create today. One long boy. We could indeed do a long boy. But what would this long boy be disguised as? How would this long boy be camouflaged? Are we talking about like a worm? Maybe a millipede or a centipede? Long boy moth? A worm? Yeah, a worm, that's what I'm talking about. I really do like the idea of a millipede. Like something just super long. And maybe... Oh man, I'm almost inclined. Let's look up millipedes. Oh yeah, content warning for bugs, by the way, I'm so sorry. Anyway. Let's look at what millipedes like normally look like and do. I hope you guys don't mind boogies. Why is Taylor Swift here? Hello? Does she have a millipede? Oh no, she has a millipede species named after her? Hello? How did this happen? I'll have to look that up on my own time. See, my friends, that is why we as world builders have license to pretty much do whatever weird stuff we want. Because there's a millipede species in our real life world named after Taylor Swift. Okay. Anyway, so I'm wondering, if we have a millipede, you see, how would we camouflage a millipede in such a way that they are just very, very difficult to see and to spot? Maybe they just blend right in with their surroundings. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking at all these millipedes and they don't really blend in all that well. But we could change that. We have the power of creation. We can have these long, long boys. You know, maybe... maybe there's a certain plant, okay, that has vines that look like exactly like they do. So they have somehow managed to evolve alongside this plant, maybe? And so they look very similar to each other. Look at all these creatures. Oh, I like looking at millipedes. They're just so... they're so interesting. A little house centipede snuck in. Part of me wants to just, like, make this Taylor Swift millipede my background. But I also just really like my current background a lot more than this. I don't know, you guys can see my Final Fantasy wallpaper. Very nice. I'm a fan. It's not the whole thing, of course. It's a little cut off, but whatever. Nobody's perfect. I'm just moving my little window back in place, haha. Little show and tell. But okay. So again, we're not going super in depth with these. I have my concept, I have my idea. Let's just, we'll call it a vine millipede. That's as far as we need to go, as far as the name is concerned. So we'll say this is a species of millipede, which evolved alongside a certain vined plant and shares visual characteristics. Shares visual characteristics with it. I want to say maybe that this is a plant that, like, nothing eats the vines of this plant, so it doesn't seem particularly appetizing to any creatures. And so that is why these millipedes look like these plants, so nothing tries to eat them. It'd be a little icky, a little not great for the creature who tries to munch on them. Or at least, it'd be not great. I feel like millipedes are the nice version of centipedes. I mean, they look nicer. They certainly seem a lot more friendly. Yes. Yes, this camouflage helps them from being preyed upon, as the vines themselves are extremely unappetizing to most creatures. And I do say most, because I'm sure they will have some natural predators. So let me scroll on over to where my name is. This is going to be bug number 2 for us. It's going to be the vine millipede. Wahoo. Oh, the last prompt that we ended our previous stream on was also bug. Camouflaged. All right, what number are we shooting for today? Because we got 10 last time. Do we want to go for 20 or do we want to do more? But that is a question for later because we are rolling another D34 and we got 33. I think that's one of mine. Yeah, it's actually it's one of my clothes list. So we will see. We will see what we will be tasked with today, and that is clothes 2. Cool, cool. I'm a fan of that. Doing one off our own list, and that's number 6. We have layered. Ooh-hoo-hoo. Okay, and so now I have to wonder. I'm saddened that 33 isn't night clothing. Oh. Well, that'd be too specific, I think. But now, my question is, which template do I want to use for clothing? Like, would it be an item? I guess armor. Yeah, armor is listed under here, so maybe item would be the way to go for a clothing piece. Tradition, if it's like a very specific thing. I'll go with item. Okay, so we're gonna go with an item. We're going with a clothing piece, or like several clothing pieces, that can be described as layered. I'm thinking this might be... thinking something more complex than everyday wear. Maybe... I'm kind of thinking maybe like a top of some kind. Like a top layer. And then you just kind of have multiple layers on that. I don't want to say it's anything particularly special. You know, like it's not crazy formal wear or spiritual wear. Maybe it's just something nice, you know? Something nice, something for when you're feeling a little fancier than usual. Maybe. Now I'm kind of thinking about armor at the moment. So maybe if we're thinking about armor, we can make a little tie-in to a previous prompt that we did, where we were talking about crocodiles in the Leech Sea. So adventurers who wander around these parts, maybe they want to wear something with several layers to protect them from A, the swamp water, B, the things that live in there, C, the things that would maybe like to bite through whatever you're wearing. You know, it's like a whole collection of things. So let's see. So yeah, we're gonna keep it simple. Creatures generally don't duck with something that has spikes. That is true. Try not to... Probably don't want to chomp on something that's gonna chomp them back, you know? So let's see. We'll just describe it as such. Armor worn by adventurers who make journeys through Leech Sea. It involves numerous layers ranging from waterproof to puncture resistant and more, with the aim of fending off the dangers lurking in the region and its murky waters. How's that? Short, simple, and sweet. So yes, we have Leech Sea armor. Armor worn by adventurers who make journeys through Leech Sea. It involves numerous layers ranging from waterproof to puncture resistant and more, with the aim of fending off the dangers lurking in the region and its murky waters. Pretty good. I will add that to my little list. Leech Sea armor, excellent. We'll add it to this list. Layered. Leech Sea armor. Beautiful. Oh, whoops, no, not the view world button. No, I want the dashboard. Thank you. I just be clicking on stuff. Okay. So let us go back to our big list. We shall roll some more dice. D34, what do you say? 13. Alright, where are we? What is 13? Professions. Well, that's exciting. I do like me some professions. So where is that on the list? Oh my gosh. I was just looking at it. Oh, it's this one. Okay. Professions. D30. We're looking at number 6. Sanitary. Okay. So here we are. We are doing the sanitary prompt for professions. So while I was scrolling through this, I've already noticed some interesting options, or I guess one interesting option. I see barbarians on someone else's list, and that's very fun. Riverfang has placed barbarians in the sanitary category, and I imagine they probably would like to keep their things clean. So it might not be a good idea to let things get too skunky and gross. Yes, let's see. I think profession is actually an existing category on here. Where's it at? I know it's here. Yeah, there it is. Very cool. So we have a profession. We have a profession that is sanitary. I'm thinking it could be something medical. Of course, we want things to be sanitary when we're medicining. Something food related. Gotta keep clean while you're preparing food for other people. We could also be maybe someone who is like involved with or works with children. Want to keep things clean because children are disgusting. In terms of germs, they're really gross. And they will spread them at any given opportunity. Yeah, what are we thinking? I do like the food idea. What if we think about some... What if we combine two of them? What if we have like a hospital chef? Like a medic cook. A little multi-class there. I kind of like that. Like, battle chef. Oh, actually, battle chef sounds hilarious. I'm going to do that. And this is going to be a profession responsible for the preparation of food on active battlefields. How about that? We have some guy actually, like, imagine you're fighting a battle and there's just like some guy in the middle with a grill. You know? Maybe it wouldn't be exactly like that, but that's the vibe I'm picturing in my brain. These are individuals with impeccable skill in keeping a sanitary workstation, even in scenarios where all manner blood and viscera fly. So yes, here's our sanitary profession, the battle chef. Profession responsible for the preparation of food on active battlefields. These are individuals with impeccable skill in keeping a sanitary workstation, even in scenarios where all manner of blood and viscera fly. I'm a fan of that one. Alright. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's pop back to our list. We will roll for yet another prompt. This time we have 17. Who do we got? Historical figures. Ooh hoo hoo. And that would be right here. And the historical figures prompt list by Solar Cat. We have number 12, divisive. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Cool. You know, I actually have, I don't know if this counts as like cheating, but I already have someone, you know, no, it doesn't fit, so never mind. I was, it wouldn't be a historical figure, it'd be a contemporary figure that I'm talking about, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna find someone else. We're gonna make someone new. So let me just fill in my little list. Historical figure, divisive. Now this one I might actually struggle with because I'm not sure what exactly I'm gonna write. Let's go back here, let's go back to our dashboard and pick up a character prompt. Very cool, very good. And so, a historical figure that was very divisive. Oh gosh. See, now my brain is just like running through all the possibilities of who this could be based on the lore that I've already written for my world. And I want to say that maybe someone from the Arsaci's family, for whom the kingdom of Arsavella was named, prior to their unalivement. Because the queen would have been like this beloved figure. Like nothing divisive about this queen, everybody loved her. She was fantastic. Everything was great until it wasn't, you know? Maybe there was someone in the family who was very divisive, or maybe we might talk about the beginnings of the Alabaster Hand, which later came to just, you know, death them. And I'm thinking that might just be it. It's just hard for me to kind of parse this in like historical terms, because I haven't thought terribly far like back into like the history of the world, at least not kind of like more recent history. Like I've thought about ancient history. I've thought about where everything started and why we're kind of at this point now. But a lot of the details in the middle, like in between, are very fuzzy. So we're missing a couple details here and there in the middle of it. But I know that throughout everything, there would most certainly be divisive historical figures in my world. Ah. It's gotta cross my arms and sit back for a minute while I think. So I don't have, like, I don't have a crazy amount of history written for any region other than Arsavella. I haven't really I just haven't gotten into it yet. So the only regions that I would have a history decide, well, I have Arsavella decided. There's at least a decent amount of history already available to me to pull from Arsavella. But there's also Goldport, which most certainly did fight a civil war with each other amongst themselves because of fish. They're very important fish. You gotta fight over them. And so there definitely would have been some divisive figures there as well. I'm trying to think of how historical that would be. You know, okay. So in the time period prior to the Gold War, which is the conflict that would have taken place in Goldport, there would have most certainly been some figures who would be extremely divisive. And I would wager that we could pull up the politician which put into motion. Every time I show up, you're talking about those fish. Am I? Oh my gosh. Well, the last time I talked about the fish was like a month ago, or maybe more. Oh no. Well, anyway, they're really cool fish. I like the fish a lot. They're golden shiny, and people killed each other over them, so. So I'm going to say ex-Tilbari politician. We don't have a name for this person yet, but we have an idea of who this person is and what they did. And that's what matters. But anyway, even though you've called me out for only talking about fish, hello Crispy Frog, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, so we have this ex-Tilbari politician. This historical figure is among the is among the what? The group? The crew? Is among those who kickstarted the movement to regulate and tax the export of Tilbach. Yeah, so this historical figure is among those who kickstarted the movement to regulate and tax the export of Tilbach without the input or agreement of Goldport residents, leaving all decisions to the capital, which was deeply out of touch with the needs of the Tilbari people. 49 words, beautiful. I also forgot the E at the end of people. Fantastic. So, yes, we have the ex-Tilbari politician. He once was Tilbari, but then people disowned him and probably beheaded him. I don't know. It wasn't pretty. It was not a pretty war. Yes, this historical figure is among those who kickstarted the movement to regulate and tax the export of Tilbach, which is a fish, without the input or agreement of Goldport residents, leaving all decisions to the capital, which was deeply out of touch with the needs of the Tilbari people. And this is the historical figure which kicked off the Gold War. Pretty cool. So yes, we'll go on back here. We shall copy this article name. We shall paste it here. And boom, we have our divisive historical figure. who made a lot of people very unhappy and upset. So let's move on to our next prompt of the day. Roll another D34, let's see what we get. 15. Who dat? Professions 2. So the other profession list. I like that. Let's just roll our D30 before we actually get there. So, okay, we're going for number 10 on the professions list. Professions 2. Living. Now, how do you interpret that prompt? Because I'm actually not sure what angle to approach it from. It is a profession, and the prompt is living. Could be... I'm almost inclined to say it could be something related to people who deal with residences. Maybe supporting, like, could be a healer, or the late version, a necromancer. Yeah, absolutely. I was definitely thinking something like that. Like maybe, like something related to medicine. Or maybe one who studies life, the concept of. There's a lot of ways to go with this. So while I think about that, I'm going to add the prompt itself to my little list of things that I'm doing. Living. Someone with a profession who is alive. That's definitely the way to go, right? Go back to this page. We shall grab the profession thingy. Template, that's the word I was looking for. Alright, profession, living. Like, I don't... I'm almost tempted to suggest something along the lines of, like, I was gonna say something along the lines of, like, hospice, but that seems like it'd be more fit for, like, dying. I don't know. Let's see. Living. Who'll be living in this world? I kind of want to suggest maybe a druid, actually. Someone who deals in wild magic. And also at the same time, death magic. Two sides of the coin. They're not necessarily like druids in the traditional sense. They're just taking the different flavors of magic, that duality, life and death. But these ones in particular that I'm going to be referring to, yes, we shall say that these are going to be people from Nimavi who do practice wild magic, life magic, because that is the way it has manifested in that region. That is how the ley line of, like, life magic has manifested. It's all wild growth. Yeah, so let's see. Nimavi Druid. And so they most certainly are dealing with living, life energy and magic, all of that. So I think that would be the ideal thing to write about here. So let's see. The Druids of Nimavi harness and tend to the energies of the ley line of... Oh gosh, what did I name this ley line? That's a really good question. Because I know I named the death ley line Atrophy, but I don't remember... Oh, Genesis. Haha. Ley line of Genesis. That is the ley line through which life magic travels through. And of course, because all of the ley lines have like a dual magic property, it shares a track with the ley line of Atrophy, which is death magic. So at any time, they could just swap. And that is the fun of magic in Malcora. Wherever there is one thing, the opposite could just show up at any time. So that'd be really cool. Imagine you're just like in this lovely, overgrown, magical forest, and then one of these days just a pocket of it starts rotting. That's the kind of shebang we're talking about. But yes, the Druids of Nimavi harness and tend to the energies of the ley line of Genesis. Utilizing the magical properties it bestows on the environment around it and the objects and people within. To act as healers and keepers of the wilds. Beautiful. So yes, Nimavi Druids. These shall be the people who deal with living. I'm a fan of that. I feel like I say that every time I finish one of these prompts. But it's how I feel. I think we should all take pride in the work that we do. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? We're making pretty good time. Like, quite good time to maybe get through more prompts today than we did last time. Let's see. We got 27 this time. Who is 27? Please tell me. Conflict. Oh, I'm not good at writing conflicts. It's always nice to hear people being a fan of their own work. I used to not be. I most certainly used to not be. But we are trying to not be shitters at ourselves in this, the year 2023. Sorry, I had to think about that for a second. Oh, we got one. International! We are writing about an international conflict. That is a very good question. Every single conflict I've ever written for my own world has been regional. Like, domestic. I do not know who or what or when might have fought on an international scale. That's most certainly something to think about. I could go like ancient times. I could go when the whole world was at war with itself and each other. And honestly, that's actually kind of a very important thing that maybe at some point I should write about. I should absolutely make an article about, because that's very important to the story of the world. Maybe. I'm not gonna say it's a good idea, but I do think it's a good idea. So I think, you know, yeah, I think we're gonna actually do that. We're gonna go do that real quick. So we go back to our dashboard. We pick our nice next little template. Where the conflict's at, please. There we go. Conflict. So yes, we're gonna create the seed from which our future article will grow about the international, honestly, worldwide battle that our people fought to enter the current age, to leave the Nameless era. Honestly, the entire Nameless era could be considered the battle. But no. No, no, no. The battle is what decided the transition into the new age. So yes, I will say it came to a climax, and that climax is what pushed us into brighter days. But what should I name it? I know I said I wouldn't think too hard about these names. But because this is something that's kind of like already established in my lore that I already know is a thing that exists and I'm gonna write about, I feel a little more pressured to give it like a proper name. It's gonna be a draft anyway, no one's gonna see it except you guys. Haha. Anyway. Oh, let's just write the description first, and maybe that will give me more ideas for what I'm gonna call this thing. So this conflict was a worldwide effort spanning most, if not all, regions of the world that existed in the final days of the Nameless era. I'm gonna add a little note for myself, which was not many. So at the time, it was certainly not many. There were not a lot of people about. Certainly not like now. The last bastions of human life fought against the forces which sought to destroy them and the world. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that because we're already at 47 words. So yes, this is the conflict that ended the Nameless era, pulled Melkora out of absolute death, decay, and darkness, and has now set them on the path to brighter days. Which is, of course, as it must be in any fantasy world, is now being threatened once again. And that is the timeline upon which I am now aiming to write. So things are a little spooky and dicey again. But this conflict now here that I'm writing about is what pulled them out of that originally. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna name it. Okay. I wanna like give it some kind of cool, dramatic name. Battle of Illumination. Dispelling of the darkness. You know? Yes. Sorry, my brain has been so fuzzy today. It's actually a miracle that I've gotten how many prompts done today already? 5? The fact that I've done this many prompts already is kind of a miracle. My brain has not been functioning today, and it's really coming to a head right now. But honestly, naming things has always just been the hardest part of, frankly, anything. We're gonna say Battle for Light. We're gonna say that. There we go. We have our international battle. Yeah, I can always change the name later. Like, especially since these are in fact. Also, I am a fool. I didn't even do the correct prompt. I'm looking at the list right now, and I stopped at vehicles. He who? Well, yeah, that's actually, never mind. I did do the correct one. It's just labeled vehicles on the list. Crisis averted. It's okay. We did do the right thing. So yes, we have the battle for light. Oops, do not. Why are you that color? Don't like that, no sir. Okay. Yes, these names are not set in stone, nor is the content. All of these are just, I think I'm gonna take it upon myself to change that name myself, because it certainly is not correct. But yes, there we go. Yeah, if there's anything I'm like really bad at, it's just it's actually writing about conflicts. I'm really not great at that. Certainly something to improve upon at some point, and I did just roll 18, so let's see what that's gonna be. Buildings. Ooh. Very cool, very cool. And the buildings prompt list is made by Stormbrill. Very cool, very exciting. Stormbrill is really cool, and my map for the cartography award is actually in the running, like, against one of his. Oh, and I've rolled 1, which is domestic. Yeah, my map is in the running against his, and honestly, he might just sweep that win away from me. That map of his is so freaking gorgeous. But yes, let's go back to our little. Let's go back here. So we got a building to write about, and it's a domestic building. So maybe someone's house, a home, something nice, cozy, livable. Where am I trying to go? Dashboard. Cool, cool. So yes, we have a little domestic. Where are we? Building. Yes, the building template, building or landmark. So it says, wonders, natural and built, ruins, dungeons, temples, great trees, smithy, inn, castle. Anything you can point to and people consider significant enough to name. What about buildings who don't have a name? Buildings who those people consider insignificant, not significant enough to even have a name. Could be possible. Oh, okay. So a domestic building. I would say that this is a place, like a personal residence. You know, no commercial venture, no inns or anything like that. Like this is a place that someone owns, someone lives in. It is their home. It is their place. Oh, I just dropped my duck. I dropped the duck. But it's okay. Duck has friend. I have 2 ducks. They kiss. Mwah. Anyway, back to regularly scheduled programming. I'm sorry, I can't help making ducks kiss on stream. But yes, I'm thinking we'll make this Savalin farmhouse. This is going to be a farmhouse that someone in our Savella might live in, where maybe their family has lived for generations. I could make this the home of even one of Arcevella's more like influential farming families, because these farming families, they practically run the whole show in Arcevella outside of the capital. So if there's any political anything happening outside of the capital of Arcevella, it's happening because these family heads are deciding it. I'm sure some of these people in the chat know a thing or two about family heads deciding how everything works. Just a couple little LARP meme. Oh yes. So we'll say Savellan family farmhouse. That sounds good. The home of one of Arcevella's what would the word be? Like governing families? Oh. And see, I am tempted to do more of the building prompts in particular, like more than just this one, like maybe even go down several on this list just on my own time. Because Stormbrill has made like a proper challenge out of this. Like he even went so far as to make a little badge that you can just kind of like, you know, give yourself for participating. I don't know if it's like, oh, you have to do a certain amount of them, or if it's just like, hey, you did some of the prompts, here you go, have a badge, or you know what I mean? But I am so like I'm treat motivated. And to me, a little badge, like a little sticker to put on my work to be like, hey, good job, you did this thing. It's very motivating to me. I've done some crazy things for a badge. You can bet on that. Like pulling like 2 all-nighters in a row to finish writing stuff for a challenge because I want that shiny badge. Which I don't recommend. Don't do that. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Put in the time before the due date. Don't let the ADHD goblins win. I know it's hard, but those goblins are praying for your ruin. And you have to pick them up and you have to throw them at the wall and tell them, no, not today, goblins. Today we're writing. Today we're doing stuff. And that's my motivational speech for you to take away from today's stream. Anyway, we have this Savellan family farmhouse, and that is going to be the topic of this article. It's the home of Arcevella's governing families. The home of one of Arcevella's governing families. A building occupied by the same line for generations. Slowly growing and expanding to accommodate ever-growing. Oh, I completely bungled that word. Gorwing. Anyway, slowly growing and expanding to accommodate ever-growing. To accommodate an ever-growing. Oh my gosh, I cannot type. Ever-growing, not every-growing. Family tree. And farming enterprise. Let the goblins do my best work. No, these are not the productivity goblins. These are the goblins that tell you, no, don't do a single thing. We're just gonna stare at a wall for 10 hours. No, we pick up those goblins and we throw them. We like the goblins that are like, yes, it is time to create. Woo! Yeah, we like those goblins. We keep those goblins around. We don't always throw the stare at a wall goblins, because sometimes they're useful. Sometimes we need a little decompression session. We just stare at a wall, do nothing for several hours to days. Sometimes we gotta get some work done, and that's when we throw them. We just pick them up. Yeet. You know? Such is my decree. Yes. We have our Savellan family farmhouse. One more stub for the collection. Why is the color? Okay, well, anyway. Let's go back here, back to our little prompt list. I'm just going to add in our little guy here, little thing that we've just finished. We're gonna roll another D34. We got 20. Ooh, 20. Politics. Oh boy, this I don't know which way this is gonna go. This could either go really well for me, or I could just not know a single thing to write about. So we're going for politics number 13. Set a tab here, yes. And we're looking at the politics 2 list. Armistice. Oh boy. So here we go. We have the politics list. We're doing the word armistice. Yes. So we have to decide on a political time in my world where people have just kind of decided to, you know, stop fighting. Just be nice. Little lay down your arms and let us shake hands and hug. Yeah, I really don't know when I would do that, or when I would, like, say that that has happened in my world. Like, obviously it's happened. Oh, you know. I already have an article about the conflict that I have in mind, but not about the resolution. I mean, obviously the resolution is mentioned in the article, but that article is so beefed up, like, just in describing what the conflict was. I feel like I could make a whole article about just how it was resolved and what happened afterwards. So I feel like by the time I got to the resolution, I was like, okay, I just gotta write down what the resolution was and just get it over with. So would that be conflict? Would that just, would that be part of the conflict? I guess it could be like any of these, really. Not any of these, but say there's an organization involved or something. A tradition? Ooh, you know, okay. Instead of writing about the armistice that actually just, like, happened, we're gonna write about some traditions that maybe came from it. I'm a fan of that. So of course the conflict in question that is coming to mind for me on this one is the Seething Primal Insurrection, which took place in Bolkan between the people of Bolkan and the primals that lived in that land, and were now very upset that humans were settling permanently in their lands where previously they were only nomadic. They just kind of traveled around a lot. They didn't claim any, like, spot, any land for their permanent home before. And these primals were very, very upset. They were very territorial. They did not want people being here at all, frankly. But now they were stealing land for themselves. And we couldn't have that. So they had a number of the residents turn on each other in an attempt to basically raze the city to the ground, just completely destroy it so that nobody could live there. It didn't work. Because rather than just fighting off the both the primals and the people who are now fighting against, those who wanted the city to remain, the people got the bright idea, well, instead of fighting all these people, why don't we befriend the other primals who don't give a fuck? We can befriend these primals, we can understand what's going on and why everyone else is so upset. We can be friends, we can make allies, and we can secure our place here. And that's exactly what they did. The Speakers Council is the group that came up with this idea, actually executed it, befriended these primals, and they now rule in Kamigan and Bolkan as, like, they have basically 50% stake on ruling the nation, where the other 50% stake is with the Black Glass Consortium, which is a huge, like, tradecraft business venture. And so they've shared custody, joint custody of this region. Speakers Council, because they make very smart decisions, with, like, very smart cultural and regional decisions. And Black Glass Consortium, because they are an absolute economic powerhouse, and they keep this place going, despite the fact that nobody wants to come here because it's literally a giant volcanic wasteland. Very important when you don't really get a lot of visitors. Anyway, I imagine after this happened, they wanted to continue to make good with their new primal allies. So maybe they've developed a tradition in which they regularly commune with these primals, talk to them, see what's up, see what's going on, see what they can do, what we can do for each other, more or less. And they just keep up good relations with these primals that they share their land with. So it is a constant reminder to these primals, like, hey, we're not just, like, here to steal land and be disrespectful and icky and gross. We're just trying to live. So let's be buddies, let's be friends. And they're like, okay. We're not territorial like those other guys, just don't be shits to us. And we're like, cool, we can do that. We had no plans to do that in the beginning. But yes. Okay, so this is a tradition. Which originated in the wake of seeding primal insurrection. In which the Speakers Council communes Kamigan's primal allies in an effort to maintain the friendly relationship established during the old conflict. So yeah, that would absolutely be a thing. And so that was spawned out of this armistice of when the primals decided, okay, yeah, we're not fighting this anymore. You guys got other primals on your side, and we're not trying to infight anymore. Goodbye. And no one ever found out exactly which primals started all this nonsense. It is only the primal allies of Kamigan straight up said, it is none of our business to tell you who these primals were. Conflict is over. That's what matters. Moshpit Monk, you are here with a sippy? Why, thank you. Hello. The sippy train has been quite slow today, so it's very lucky that you've shown up when you did. Hello, hi. How are you? Moshpit Monk. Look at all these prompts that we have written over today and Saturday. I have been here, just needed to earn bird coin for sip. Oh, you've been here, but you... Mr. MVP, you come and you say nothing? Or were you still out and about, just chillin'? But let's roll. Yet another... Oh, and we got 23. I don't like being amongst the poors for too long. But you just said you had to sit around and wait for money. You are one of the poors. Oh, we're doing another bug. Another buggy. Okay, so let's see. Species, bugs. 6. Something spotted. Shut up. Listen, you're the one who said it, not me. Well, maybe now you can help me decide on some ideas for a spotted bug. Oh? It is sippy time? Oh, why thank you. Okay, Moshpit Monk, we are now going to be writing about a spotted bug. A bug being spotted. that's meta. That's funny. That's definitely not an angle that I considered. Oh my gosh. We're sipping today, boys. Alright. So back we go. Oh, my eye is twitching. Help. Make it stop. Maybe I'm dehydrated, or maybe it's that coffee I drank today that I shouldn't have. Listen, my office ran out of hot chocolate this morning, and so I was like, okay, well I want a nice, hot, yummy drink with my lunch, so I'm just gonna have a coffee instead. Mistake. I spent the entire rest of my day at work falling asleep at my desk because I drank that coffee. It was not good. It's not good at all. Let's see, you could make an invasive species akin to the spotted lanternfly. Ooh, that is cool. And honestly, that does combine yours and Moshpit Monk's idea of a bug being spotted. Because, of course, the spotted lanternfly itself has spots on it. So yes, it is a spotted bug. But in the real world, when we spot this bug, like with our eyes, this bug has been spotted. We crush it. Like it's a rule. So this is a bug that is spotted, and it has spots. It prompts some kind of response, some kind of reaction when it is spotted. Because it is an invasive bug. There we go. Yeah. Let's see. I don't want to make like a clone of the spotted lanternfly. They're really cool. Actually, one of my favorite little stories about the spotted lanternfly is obviously we knew that spotted lanternflies were no good. We're supposed to kill them. But I do have a story about the one time that a spotted lanternfly survived being spotted by me and my partner because it was in one of its like juvenile stages. Because it looked so stupid. It walks like such an idiot. We were looking at it, pointing and laughing like, look at this stupid looking little bug. And we let it walk away. Because we didn't know that it was a juvenile spotted lanternfly. That's amazing, isn't it? Anyway. These are good times. Now we know better. Now if we see a funny little idiot bug walking around, we're like, yep, that thing's gotta die. Dumbass walking bug. Yeah. Exactly. Looking like an idiot. Yeah, you were there for that. Too stupid to drop dead. Too stupid to be smooshed. Anyway. But what kind, like what flavor of bug are we thinking? I almost want to say maybe a beetle? But I'm not sure. What kind of bug is a spotted lanternfly? Now I need to know. What are you? A plant hopper. Is that like an actual classification of bug? Like it is a plant hopper? I'm curious, what are you? Oh yeah, see look, there's a little stupid guy. They walk like idiots. Except I think it was at an even earlier stage. Like, oh yeah, it was one of these guys. It was one of these little itty bitty boys. We were just watching it walk around. We're like, haha, you look really silly when you walk. And we just, yeah, it was a nymph. It was a little immature spotted lanternfly. We just let it go because we didn't know what they looked like. Ah, hello, CM Nugget with the sippy. What up? How are you? Welcome in. I'm currently trying to see, like, the proper classification for what type of bug a spotted lanternfly is. Currently, the best Google has given me is that it's a plant hopper. But that sounds fake. That doesn't sound like a thing. This one says it's a pest, which, I mean, relatable. I don't know, all these... I guess, yeah, it's a plant hopper. Is that a thing? Yeah, I guess plant hoppers... Yeah, it's like, that's an actual... It is an actual classification for a type of insect. Neat. That is pretty cool. They are also very cute. I like this guy. He looks exactly like a leaf. Very sweet, very lovely. Anyway, I'm thinking this invasive bug that we got going on, this like little bug situation, he's gonna be a beetle. A little Beetleborg, you know what I'm saying? A leafy boy. Yeah, look at him. He's so cute. See his encyclopedia. They got, oh my god, they got these red eyes, it looks like. It's just giving me flashbacks to fighting like Sharish Valda in Monster Hunter World. Got like the crack eyes. Let me just pull this up real quick. Yeah, look. Sharish Valda eyes. Nightmare fuel. Absolute nightmare creature. I don't like fighting this thing. Because that is just... Oh, this fan art. Beautiful. I don't like this monster. Absolutely horrendous. It's so uncomfy to look at. But anyway, we're here on a mission. Let's see. Maybe. I'm thinking of something silly. Or maybe not silly. I don't know if silly is the right word. Something a little more fantastical, something a little out of the ordinary. Maybe Maybe this is a type of beetle. Okay. That lives in some of the rockier places of my world. Perhaps in the Earthen Kingdoms, where everything is like all stone everywhere. Very crazy. And some things absolutely depend on very like you know how in the real world, in the real life, there are stone structures, like natural stone structures, that are kind of just being held up by like a hope and a prayer and like a tiny pillar of stone. Like, you know, like what I'm kind of talking about? Like, these things look like they're going to break and tip over at any moment, but they don't. So I imagine there are places like this in the Earthen Kingdoms, like all over the place. But there are going to be these little beetles that like to chew on rocks. Like, they just straight up come in and have a little crunch. And that's like, that's okay in other places of the world. But not in this place where the rocks themselves by nature are heavily infused by magic. So in turn, these beetles are heavily infused with magic. And so instead of like having a little nibble here and there of rock, they house that stuff. They just chew through it. Like imagine beavers. Yeah, they'll just like chew through stone. And so these bugs are invasive in this place. And whenever they're spotted, they're like kill on sight. Like imagine spotted lanternfly, but they're eating rocks. They're beetles. That's what we got here. So we're gonna call these rock crunchers, because they be crunching rocks. Beetles. Invasive to the Earthen Kingdoms. These are indeed beetles invasive to the Earthen Kingdoms. Infused with magic. From these stones they regularly consume. Rather than consuming small quantities of stone as they would in their native environments. They now do so in mass quantity, resulting in a kill on sight declaration. So yes, these little rock crunchers, little rock cruncher beetles, they are going to be kill on sight in the Earthen Kingdoms because they can actually destroy a lot of stuff. They are very icky, no good. They will eat your house. So don't let them live there. This is how we get like terrible caves in because they just ate out a whole pocket of something, maybe in a settlement or near one. Now someone takes a little step, they crumble through the earth, and now they're in a hole filled with bugs. Actually sounds horrifying. Like everyone get into the beetle hole. There we go. We have added rock crunchers to our little list. Boom. There we go. Yeah, we are making a fantastic time. We're already at number 20 for like the total articles that we've put together from all of these streams. I say all of these streams like there's been many. This is stream number 2 that we are doing this. We have rolled and we have gotten 24. So let's see, 24 is geography. So we're going back to geography prompts. Some National Geographic. Roll D30. We're gonna be doing number 16 in geography. That's geography 1. Ooh, looks like Riverfang's already been doing some of these. And over to, oh, Blue Fairy has also been doing this. Cool. Blue Fairy writes in German, which is really cool. I started learning German in college. Whole magic rock thing has some interesting implications for native chicken-like birds that have to eat rocks because it helps with their digestion. Yes, absolutely. And see, that kind of concept wasn't in my brain before, but now it certainly is. And that is the magic. That's the magic of these little prompt sessions. I am learning things about my world that I never even made yet. So yes, creatures that eat rocks in these areas, they might get a little weird. Yes, we were doing what, 16, a savanna. Ooh. So let's write about a little savanna in my world. Where might that even exist? That's actually a fantastic question. Where would that be? Oster 2000, I made it for the last half hour. Wahoo! Hello, welcome. Welcome in. How are you doing today? I'm glad you could make it. We are polishing off, or not polishing off. We've just rolled a new prompt, Savannah prompt. And I am just going to be pulling up my map here so I can have kind of like a little gander at where in this world. Oh, that's not the button I wanted to press. View world. Okay. So let's see. We're gonna turn off the pins because I don't want to look at them right now. I just want to look at the world. So I'm trying to see where in my world I might have placed a savanna. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know that I have. Although I could say that the majority of Everbright over here might be savanna-like. Like, I would wager that this is like half desert, half plains. And in fact, I'm going to refer to the Google to see what exactly qualifies as a savanna. It's a grassy plain in tropical and subtropical regions with few trees. Honestly, that is kind of perfect. Because this little region, ooh, refreshment time. Anyway, because this whole region of my world, prior to these two regions getting completely blown up by the ley lines, like they were jungles, like they were very tropical, very all of that. But I imagine, of course with Volcan being a volcanic nightmare, all the jungle got just completely blown up. It is no good. And Everbright kind of bleached the life out of most of the tropics. And so now, whatever lives here is pretty sparse. I would say it's mostly grasslands, mostly plains. We could definitely do something with like a section of Everbright that would be a savanna. So let's see. I do have some pre-existing lore for Everbright. Let's see. Give me, can I just open you? Open link in new tab. Yeah, there we go. So we got Everbright. Of course. And so, what did I write? Yeah, its terrain's largely open, wildlife within often appearing as sun-bleached as the lands they inhabit. I remember writing like something. Yeah, due to the nature of the magic, referring to the ley line, it is extremely difficult to conceal oneself here. Instead, inhabitants rely on traits such as great size, speed, or powerful defenses to keep themselves safe from predators or those that would do them harm. And so that is the nature of like magic, the creatures, and the lands itself in Everbright. And so now We can make like a little like subsection of Everbright that is specifically like this savannah type place. I absolutely believe that that type of geography would exist there because it makes sense. It makes sense like real world logically, which is something I'm kind of trying to find like a balance with. Because there is going to be a mix of fully natural environments in my world, but there's also going to be the magical environments that have been altered artificially. So not everything is going to fully line up, but that which is not affected by magic directly, I do want it to make sense. I do want it to be realistic in that sense. So yeah, I think that works out just fine. And because I will sit here for 10,000 years trying to figure out a name, we're just going to name this Everbright Savannah. And that's going to be the name for this. And eventually, once I get back to it in the future, whenever it may be, we're gonna write out the article, we're gonna finish, like, we're gonna rename everything, we're gonna spice it up, it's gonna be great. But for those who are not here for the original explanation of what we're actually doing here, hello, I'm rolling dice, I'm doing random prompts off of the huge community list of prompts that we have. And of course, all of the... I'm gonna say the spreadsheet itself is going to be limited to WorldAnvil community members only. You can get that in our WorldAnvil Discord. But the prompt lists themselves, I have images for all the prompts in my Discord server. So if you want to join that, you just want to grab the little prompt list so you can do them on your own time, and you're not a member of the WorldAnvil community, go do that. If you are a member of the WorldAnvil community, you can just go grab those from the challenge discussion at any time. But yes, so I got a little bit sidetracked. We're doing these prompts. We're doing random ones off the huge community list, just one after the other, and our goal is to make a stub article for every single one that we land on. So articles under 50 words. I'm just making concepts for my world, something like seeds that I can build off of in the future. So maybe future challenges are going to pop up, and one of these stubs is like the perfect topic. Or maybe, yeah, maybe even summer camp. Some of these survive that long. Summer camp, some of these things could absolutely make great summer camp topics. Like, we're just keeping things open. I have never written with stubs before. I tend not to make them at all. But now we're just gonna have all these ideas floating around in my world that I can grow later, grow in the future, and it'll be a lot of fun. And so I'm just taking you guys on that little journey with me during these streams. And of course, this month I'm just like trying not to vibrate out of my skeleton. And, I'm so full of anxiety over this world building awards thing. Still wild to me that I got nominated for not one but two categories. Exactly. That is exactly how I feel. Which by the way, if you haven't voted already in the world building awards document, if you have not yet cast your votes, please do consider voting for my map. Oh, I forgot you were nominated. Pulls up document. Yeah. Yes, I am nominated for Most Beautiful World and Cartography Award. And this is actually the map in question for the Cartography Award. I worked so hard on this. I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into doing this and preparing it to make sure it was ready for submission time. And I'm so thrilled that it actually made it into like the nominations, which is so crazy. Like, I'm up against some stiff competition for sure. Like, oh my gosh. I don't know, like that, all the maps were really good. Each one of the like maps I'm up against had something that I absolutely adored. That was like, it was kind of like different for each one. Like Stormbrill's map, absolutely stunning, gorgeous, like all original artwork. Beautiful, just stunning. Like TJ's map, like it looks Like it looks like a real like a like a printed map. Like it's so cool. Like it's got like all the little like nation flags like listed in like a row all next to each other, and it's got like all the like the border and the key and the legend and like all of that. Oh my gosh. And ooh, like Tiller's map is like the temple. Also really cool. And like oh my god, every single one of them just has something really cool going on. And like Mondo's map, I don't know, I'm just a fan of like the classic fantasy map where like, you know, you have all of your continents and all of your everything, like super like the detailed drawing, like the kind of maps, like everything's really cool. Everything's fun and fancy. All I'm gonna say is that the competition is very stiff for every single category, every single nomination. I voted today. I put in my votes. And yeah, I had to sit for a very long time to decide who was going to get my vote for everything. I cannot fathom the like endeavor that the judges had to go through to pick 5 for each. Cuz I've seen some of the other submissions like that people have, you know, like posted about in the community, like hey, I submitted all these things for these categories. And like there's some absolute stunners that did not make it into nominations. Finally put your votes in. Woo! Yay! So exciting. It's so much fun when like we as the community get to like vote on stuff like this. It's like it's very anxiety inducing. I have that constant kind of like imposter syndrome feeling going on, like there's no way I'm popular enough, etc., to like get votes for things. But I'm trying not to dwell on that. Like I'm literally in the running right now against someone who's like literally on nomination for best world, like period, the end, best world. It's a real toughie to say the least to not feel like I'm a little in over my head, you know what I mean? But we're out here, we did it, we submitted things despite the brain weasels telling us we shouldn't and that we're not gonna win anything. Now, well, I have 2 opportunities to theoretically win if people like me enough, so. Ah. I'll have you know, I saw the. Okay, it's actually really funny. I found out I was nominated because I opened up the voting form and I just scrolled through, and of course the first page doesn't have all of the categories on it, like the world categories are on page 3. So I was on page 2 just looking at the article categories and I'm like, "Oh my god, my map got in. Wahoo!" And then I was sitting in the WorldAnvil Discord server, like I was this close to making a joke, like, okay, so next year I'm gonna go for most beautiful world. Like you guys just wait, I'm gonna pretty up everything. But like it never occurred to me that I never actually saw the lineup for the beautiful world nominees. And just like I don't know, I opened the spreadsheet that people put together for like, you know, managing your like reading and your voting choices, all that. And then I stop and I look, like, wait a minute. That's my name under Most Beautiful World. And then I like actually cried. Like I wept real tears. And it was really inopportune timing because I was like moments away from starting up my stream for the day. So I'm just like sitting there like openly weeping like, "Oh, I have to get myself presentable and ready to be on camera for people in a minute." Yeah, I only cried a little bit. I'm like almost about to cry right now, so I'm just gonna stop talking about this. But anyway, um, anybody who hasn't voted who wants to, the spreadsheet link, not the spreadsheet, the form link is on the WorldAnvil homepage, just like right there, all big. Vote for your favorites. Go do that. But anyway, like, yeah, Moshpit Monk, you know how much blood, sweat, and tears I put into making that map nice and pretty and presentable. Like, I try very hard. I'd be out here. Anyway, where were we? Okay, we're writing about this savannah. Okay. Okay. Everbright Savannah. The savannas of Everbright are sun-bleached lands. Every time I see your world, I'm in awe of it. Oh my gosh, stop, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. If there's anything that I can say about my world, it's that I have tortured myself with CSS and learning how to make everything lovely. Oh, you guys, stop. Like, there are so many times where I've just, like, changed my CSS or made tweaks and edits and all that kind of thing, all that kind of stuff, and of course, every time I try to do something new with my world, like, I'll use a different block that I've never tried before, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not formatted currently, so I have to go into my CSS and I have to update it, and I have to figure out the code and the elements and the, oh, yeah, you know, everything everywhere, all at once. Like, prime example, not the, well, that would work. No, oh my gosh. Regions. Like, if we see my favorite CSS thing that I've done is actually the scroll bar. Like this little guy. Beautiful. We don't got no default scroll bars in my world anymore. We got these sleek little bars. No default Windows scroll bar, no sir. That was my favorite part. And that's actually something, that's another example of one of those CSS things that, like, I notice that, like, oh, that's not styled currently by default. I have to go in and fix that. I have to go make it something that fits for my aesthetic for my world, and I have to make it pretty. So that's another one of those little things. It's like, ah, I did it. I went in and I fixed it. I made it pretty. Yes. Savannas of ever brighter, sun-bleached lands forever cloaked in, I'm gonna say oppressive light. Cast by the... I need to update my CSS. I'm not crying, it's just the dust. Oh gosh, I know exactly how you feel. Like, I promise you, I'm not crying. It's just like, there's like a whole stick in my eye. Don't worry about it. Yes, savannas of ever brighter, sun-bleached lands forever cloaked in oppressive light. Cast by the effects of the ley line of revelation. Great beasts? Oh, no, beasts. I cannot type. That is like the common issue I'm having where I just cannot type letters correctly, in the correct orders. So here we are. Great beasts roam these grasslands. What else do I want to say about these, about the savannah, these grasslands that exist? Great beasts roam these grasslands. I don't know, let's come back to Everbright. As great beasts roam these grasslands using their size like primary defense mechanism. In this land of Kelsey Cadaver subscribed with Prime. Hello, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for the support. Hello, how are you? Yours is a name I do like seeing pop up. Hello. Of non-existent hiding spots. Yes, the savannas of ever brighter, sun-bleached lands forever cloaked in oppressive light, cast by the effects of the ley line of revelation. Great beasts roam these grasslands, using their size as a primary defense mechanism in this land of non-existent hiding spots. Kelsey Cadaver, lurking but wanted to support the homie. Oh, thank you! Oh, and Oster, thank you too for subscribing! Ah, I feel the love coming in right now. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the support. Let me just pop one of these in the chat. Little heart. That's me. I keep thinking about how I need to make more emotes. Yay, little heart. But yes, so that will sum up that one. There we go. We got Everbright Savannah. Super duper simple name for what we are going for right now. Months of prompts. Ooh. I'm once again typing something and typed incorrectly. Beautiful. Okay. Let's go back to our little dicey boy. We're gonna roll another D34. Oh, whoops. Haha. I need to put the space there. We got 7. And what is 7? Agriculture. Okay, okay. Where would agriculture be? I'm gonna have to find it on the list. General. I see, okay. And now we do a D30. And we got 3. Husbandry. Crispy Frog also has subscribed. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys are so crazy right now. You're about to like start a hype train. This is not what I expected. I'm just here to be chill and write, and look at you guys. You're being so nice to me. But here, I mean... Okay, we have the husbandry prompt. What are we going to write? Oh my gosh. I'm just a humble word farmer farming my words. And you are here being nice to me. I already almost cried on stream. I don't need to do it a second time. Okay, what kind of article do we want to write about husbandry? Maybe what kind of farmed or like tamed animals do we want out here in these? Because I mean, like Arsavella is a very agriculture-based region, like extremely agriculture-based. So there's gonna be a lot of all that kind of stuff. So what kind of animals do you think we would see in Savellan farms? Like, I'm just gonna call it out. We're doing a species, we're gonna do an animal. Because Iris Brianna, we have that mountainous region, and they got yaks. They got yaks aplenty. But I'm thinking maybe Arsavella is gonna have some cows. Some coos. I'm so obsessed with like... Oh, so you just wrote about a savanna full of massive creatures. What about a species they farm to ease their crossing that? That is a very good idea. So that'll take us back to Everbright, wondering if they... So what kind of creatures might they have over there? Something in my brain is like, what if we have, like what if we have these like giant kind of mammoth creatures? I don't know, I really want to put mammoths in this zone. I don't know, then we'd have to consider the ethics of like elephant riding. And I know in the real world that's a problem. So, but I don't know. But I do like the idea. I do really like that, and I want to build something off of that. I don't know, we could... We can say this is a savanna... Where gonna say a little savanna mammoth. We're gonna put the mammoths in here, and people are going to take these creatures. And maybe there is a subspecies of them that people have managed to domesticate. There are some creatures that have longer and stronger spines that are more designed for travel. Oh, absolutely. Or what if they have like massive horses? Like horses are already huge. Like they like scary kind of huge, depending on what type of horse you're looking at. Like a Clydesdale, like those, I think that's like the big one. Yeah, those things are massive. Horses are also an enigma, because like it's one of those things like you break their leg, they die, pretty much. But they're also just like huge and powerful. Horses are already big and scary. Yeah, exactly. Like they're huge. But what if they're even bigger out here? Like you can fit a family on them and they will carry you through the savannah kind of big. I am kind of a fan of that. So we're gonna say mammoth is a woolly horse. Yeah, true. Oh, I'm so torn. Because now, like, I like both ideas. I mean, both ideas could exist. Um, but I'm thinking the mammoths out there will exist. They will be there, but they will not be like the husbandry theme that we're going for right now. I saw a Clydesdale when I was 8 for the first time. Not a tall person currently, so I was even shorter then. They are impressive. Yeah, they're really, really oppressively large creatures. And so imagine that, but even bigger, and that's what we have in my world here. So maybe traveling with these giant horses is what keeps people safe from the mammoths who might be a little bit territorial. And so if they come along on a large creature, they're less likely to get run down and maybe just kind of tolerated. Maybe the creature is a longer form of horse with tusks that are designed to protect from larger creatures. Ooh. Heck yeah. Hello, happy time zones. Hi, Katoypoi. How are you doing? Happy time zone to you too. It is a very happy almost 9 p.m. from me. We are writing about obscenely large savanna horses for my region ever bright. Good, just getting some food. Almost 9 p.m. here too. Wahoo! Shared time zone. Thanks again for those graphics. Yeah, of course, no problem. I'm just thrilled that everyone liked them so much. Happy time zone. It's not nearly 2 a.m. for me. Yeah. Got those good late hours, late night writing stream. Yes. So of course, Kitoypoi, we are once again on our quest to do as many random prompts as we can manage. And I'm just writing stub articles for everyone that I can come back to at a later time. Whenever, wherever. For any occasion, whether it's a random sit down to write or for a competition in the future, who knows? But we'll get there, and we'll get there maybe soon, maybe never, who knows? But they'll be there. The world building and concepting will happen regardless of whether or not these stubs actually go somewhere in the future. That's a good process. Yeah, see, I'm usually not the kind of person to write stubs, period. Like I got that little like stub out challenge spreadsheet and I looked up how many stubs I actually had in my world. The total number was 7 and 2 of them were empty articles that I like clicked on a template for and then never wrote anything in. So, yeah, we don't really do a lot of stubs in here. Malcora is rather stubless. But as we can see, this is my list of things that I have written since starting these little prompt streams. We are now up to number 21. So, hey, that gives us lots of future material to mess around with. So yes, these are large. I felt that with the empty articles from clicking form types but not writing anything. Yeah, like it mostly happens with me like clicking on a template and then seeing like, oh, this is not the template that I wanted, and then I click out to go do something else. But the site remembers like, aha, you opened this, that means you want it, that means you need to keep it. And so then it just sits on my list with nothing in it. Really funny. I think I did go through and delete those that they don't exist anymore. A large species of horse, native to Everbright, which has been domesticated by the people. Oh gosh, what did I name the people who live in Everbright? Why did I close the article for Everbright? Aha! I left it open. I I did not write it anywhere in this article. Oh, ooh, I know this one. It's the Sunright, I think. It's me playing guessing games with my own content. Ooh, wrong. Did I? Oh my gosh, maybe I deleted the article. Ooh. Hold on, type, ethnicities. Oh, it is Sunright. It just didn't come up in the search for some reason. Yeah, we have the Sunright. These are the people who live in Everbright. Yes, a large species of horse native to Everbright, which has been domesticated by the Sunright people to aid in traversing the large open plains of the region. Very cool. Considerably larger than any other variation of horse. These creatures can be a force to be reckoned with. They're wild creatures, but they are domesticated. Sometimes. There are some wild ones, and I imagine that the wild ones would actually be terrifying. Like, imagine you're just traveling through the savannah, and you're having a good time, you're chilling out, and then you just see this massive, and I mean massive compared to the largest horses we have in the real world, absolutely huge horse just comes on up and is like, hey man, what are you doing here? At that point, your only recourse is to get out of there. That is, if the horse doesn't just run you down. And so, boom, there we go. And we can come back to here and pop this in here. Wahoo! And we have one more prompt down. It's not 9 p.m. yet, so we're gonna do at least one more. Honestly, I might just keep on running, because this is fun. Alright, so we've rolled 27, and we're just gonna roll our d30 real quick. 22. What is 27? Conflict. No, not again. I'm so bad at conflict. Where are we? I got 22. Siege. Oh man. Alright. This is unfortunate because I do already have a siege written for my world that, of course, I can't just do it again. It already exists. That defeats the purpose. So I just have to come up with something else, which is so hard. So again, I'm most certainly not... I'm not one of the writers on WorldAnvil that excels at writing conflicts. I'll unfortunately have to bow out, hoping to get something done tonight. Yeah, well, you get that thing done tonight. I believe in you. I'm so glad you popped by, and thank you so much for the support. Yeah, whatever that thing is that you hope to get done tonight, you go for it. I'm cheering for you. You have a good night. Maybe I will catch you again some other time. So yes, let's pop on over to our dashboard. We'll make a conflict. Go, just all the little hearts for you. Trying to make the heart look normal on camera. Hello? My hands are weird. Yeah, you guys are actually all fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me while I just bumble around writing stuff for my world. It's a lot of fun and I really enjoy doing this. And I know bringing it up kind of defeats the purpose, but it's really taken some of that anxiety away from the world building awards things. I just get to sit and be creative and do my little thing. So yeah, we have a good time here. You know, what number are we on? 22? Yeah, so we did 12. We rolled for 12 prompts today. That's pretty good. We did 10 last time. Anyway, military conflict. It's a siege. What kind of siege are we thinking about right now? Something good. Something. See, this is a tough one because I've actually written not one but two different siege battles for my world. And off the top of my head, I cannot think of any history that I have like kind of already written or compiled in which a siege battle would make sense to add to. So I would kind of have to just make something up and then fit it in later. Which, I mean, given my approach to this challenge, it's not really a bad thing. I can most certainly do that. Like, I'm in the stage of world building for like the vast majority of my world where I can just make stuff up and then figure it out later, because that's kind of what I need to do. I don't have a lot of fully defined concepts throughout the world. I just have a couple pockets of the world where things are kind of fleshed out. I'm gonna have to learn how to like snake all those things together so that it all functions. And that's the hard part. Anyway. We're just gonna put something in here so it's a little bit less intimidating. No blank screen. So this is a siege battle which occurred. Alright, I'm thinking which occurred either. I want to give it a time measurement or a geographic location. It occurred in this time period or it occurred in this geographic general location. Ooh. I got my map open over here. So we can kind of, the zoom was a little laggy. Yeah, I'm wondering, where do I want to put a siege battle? Or some kind of siege. Love the ink stain bits, thank you. Yes, it's the whole theme. The whole theme of this map is that most of it is just totally wrecked. Completely ruined. And it's kind of like my little cover-up for having additional continents planned for my world, but only focusing on this corner right now. Oh, stop. Enough with the pop-ups. Yeah, I only have this section of my world planned. And I don't plan to have the rest of it even conceptualized for a very long time. So this is what we got. This is what we got for now. Yeah, and honestly, my favorite part about this map is not even like the visuals of it, though I am very happy with how they came out. It's more just like the little like narrative bits. Like there's just you just got little bits and pieces of information of just like Like you're in character looking at this map. Your map implies an untrustworthy narrator, which is cool world building itself. Yeah, I like to think so. I just really enjoy just world building of that nature. It's like someone in the world is telling you about all this stuff. And so a lot of this kind of comes from. So this would kind of be like a little academic look at all of these regions. So someone's giving you like the very basic lowdown, like, you know, this region is this, it originated from here, and these are the things that happen here, the people who live here, like all that kind of stuff. Then you just look at the details like, you know, like, oh, this is here, but guy doesn't want to tell you about it for whatever personal reason. Yeah, so that was my approach. Yes. I'm thinking, okay. We might have some kind of siege over here. Over in this caldera. That maybe cracked through one of these walls at some point in history. And maybe that's where one of the rivers flows from now. I am a fan of that, so we're gonna... Which occurred at the Great Caldera in central Nephirin. I'm gonna say long ago. We'll define that time period sometime later. Which occurred in central Nephirin long ago. The destruction of one of its walls. Oh, I completely bungled this word. Oh my gosh. What did I write? I don't know. Destruction. Yes, thank you. The destruction of one of its walls. Let's say the destruction of one of its walls would have made for an opportune entry point for the aggressor, but instead sent a rush of water which swept them away. So I imagine this would be one of those situations where they didn't realize that the water level was basically above where they were trying to break into the caldera's wall. And so they broke through. They made like a huge hole. And then, oh look, here's all this water that is just going to completely sweep away the entire force that is trying to siege their way in. It's one of the classic oopsie daisies of history. It's like the whole like invading Russia in the winter situation. They didn't really know what they were walking into, and they kind of decided after that that they were maybe finished. Yeah, so there we go. We have our little concept, our little yeah, a classic blunder. They should have known better, obviously. They should have had X-ray vision to see where the water levels were. So maybe they didn't drain a whole lake into their army, you know? There's not much coming back from that, really. But yeah, I think... Hold on, let me just populate the... everything. Boom, breaking the caldera. Refreshments, thank you. Ah. Wonderful, and now we shall just populate this little spreadsheet here. Breaking the caldera, wahoo! Fantastic and beautiful. So we have done 12 prompts during today's stream, which is super cool, super exciting. That's 2 more than last time. And we will continue this endeavor, this prompt writing adventure, on Saturday, 2 to 4 p.m. will be our next run. And yes, I'm very excited for that. We will see what other fun little adventures we can have. What ideas, what prompts. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to very quickly see who may or may not be online right now, so we can go on a little adventure, go on a little raid, if you will. I'm thinking we're gonna pop on over to Grinning Hazard, my friend, my buddy, my pal, who is still on that partner push, getting very, very tantalizingly close to that watch average needed to apply for partner. Like, so close. So I think I would love to go over there right now and just offer some support. I'm going to start this raid real quick. Of course, before I let you guys go, I'm going to remind you I do have a Discord server. And so I have all of the prompts available for like everyone who may not even be in the WorldAnvil Discord server. Like, I have all the prompts available. I also have a list of all the nominees for WorldAnvil World Building Awards and their entries, also in one of my little forum posts in my Discord server. So yeah, I would love to have you guys join. If not, I will definitely see you guys on Saturday. I hope everyone has a fantastic rest of your night. I hope all of your dreams come true, all your efforts come to fruition. And yes, have your sippies, have your water, take your meds, do all the good things. I will see you guys on Saturday. Farewell.